Hi there, Peter here. Sorry for the messy office and shaky video. I just figured something out. I'm excited about it and I wanted to share it. I have this Nikko Aero Thunderbolt. Here's the body from it. The wing unfortunately broke off. This old plastic that's really brittle. This is a toy grade radio controlled car from I think the 80s or early 90s. Lots of fun to drive. My brother and I bought it a while back. And last time I used it, it came up with this problem where the wheels would turn all the way to one side and I couldn't steer at all. So I decided I'd been getting my other radio controlled cars out recently to play with, and I decided to take a look at this one. So the first thing I did was to open it up, took the body off and then the cover off of that. Took a look here, everything pretty much looks fine. There's a little bit of a look like corrosion here, but I think it's actually just dirt that got in the thermal paste on that, what I assume is maybe a voltage regulator or something like that. And then I realized that if the wheels were straight and I turned it on, it would be fine until I turned on the controller. So I realized the controller was sending a signal that was telling it to turn all the way to one side. So I came over here and took the controller apart. It's mostly back together now, but I paused to record this video. And this is the steering control here. And so I was trying to figure out what to do. I've never opened this up before, or really any controller. I looked at the board, everything looks fine. There's no obvious problems with any of the components there that I could tell anyway. I found these two trims for each, one for the drive and one for the steering. So I turned the steering trim a little bit and did get the wheels to move, which is good because it means that some kind of signal is coming through and the problem was probably not on the board, I didn't think. There were no obvious problems with the wires from the control to the board. Nothing broken, no short circuits or anything like that. So the next thing I did was to take out this screw here and that one there, which then the steering came out all together, and because I wanted to see how this worked. And you see as you steer here, there's this little shaft up. You see these 4 pins that kind of show to indicate the location of it. You can see over on that one there, the same. And as you turn, there's a shaft that goes from here all the way through down to here. If you adjust the trim, the entire controller moves. I'm not sure if this is a rheostat or a potentiometer or what it is, but I knew that as you turned, it had to be sending some kind of signal by rotating a shaft or plate or something inside that. And I did try first to take some readings off of these wires and measure resistance and see if that changed as I turned, and I couldn't get any readings. I'm not sure exactly what I should have been measuring for there. Anyway, so I took this apart and saw that basically there's a slot in the part here that moves, and then there's a tab on the shaft, at the end of the shaft that comes through the joystick. And the tab goes into the slot, and that's what makes it turn. So I picked up just the component and turned that center part by hand, by finger, and behold, the wheels turned. So I knew that there was some kind of problem, that just wasn't getting turned. So I put it back together, tried moving the joystick, nothing happening. And then I found that you can see this one, there's a little bit of a gap right there. Well, the gap over here is just slightly larger, and so the tab just wasn't sticking through far enough to engage that slot anymore. I don't know what happened, but it popped out somehow. So all I did was push down there and push the whole shaft through a little further, and then when I moved the joystick, the wheels, they did turn. So at that point, I just I put everything back together. I set the trim to the middle position on the outside here, and then with the car and the transmitter turned on, I adjusted this trim so that the center position here would be pretty close to the center position of the wheels on the car. So I'm going to put this thing back together and test it out. There we go. All right, let's put it together. Thanks for watching this hastily edited video. I usually put a little more effort into the production, but hey, I was excited to show something I figured out, and that's kind of what this channel is about. Projects that I find interesting, that I'm working on, anything that I'm taking apart to figure something out, to fix a problem, I'm putting videos together and sharing them with you. So if that sounds interesting, which I hope it does, go ahead and click the subscribe button, and you'll see me around.